Hello, I just wanted to show you a professional studio space as far as a typical art school. So we have our easels over here. And you can see they're also adjustable. They have these little pins underneath where you can pull them down. So you can raise this up to your level of where you wanted to paint. So usually I raise this up to maybe my stomach here. So I have this space. If you're taller, you can raise it up. If you're shorter, you can raise it down. Usually have stools to sit on, or students also have the option of having chairs that are higher or lower chairs. We also have these little bins. They kind of move. You can put your palette paper on top of it and your brushes while you're painting. So that way you can stand at the easel or you can sit. And we have blackboard obviously over there. We have storage space, and these are for drawing. So kind of have clips on the back. If you were taking a drawing class, and you would attach your paper there, your newsprint. And then we have racks where we can put paintings in. You can see they're separate. So they have bars that are in between each rack, so you don't have any mold or humidity in the paintings. And usually in a drawing space, you might have, a couple of extra brushes or gesso, something that you might need if you were stretching your canvas, a couple of still lifes. If you wanted to build your own still life, I recommend that students, they can bring theirs from home. But if we were doing a transparency study, they might have, different interesting kind of bottles that they might use. Some of them might be transparent that they can fill with water. Or maybe you were painting, learning about the anatomy. For example, the knee, the patella, or different parts of the body that you might want to paint and focus on. And for different types of angles for the face, you can see the muscle tissue, and also for the different types of human skeleton parts if I was teaching anatomy. And then the other things about the art space, you can see this art space has lots of room on the floor. So you can put easels there, pretty much high ceilings and great ventilation. You'd definitely have a model stand, so where the model can sit, and sometimes the model stand can be moved into the center of the room. And of course, you'd have really good skeletons if you were doing anatomy, different types of skeletons. You might also have a screen if we're doing a projection. Sometimes students might have their painting projected on a different type of screen here. And we also have drawing benches. So I'll show you what those look like. What you would do is you would take one of these little drawing benches here, and you could sit on it. So you kind of sit on it, and you can put your, as I was showing you over there, if you had a one of those little drawing boards that you could put your newsprint on, you could put your drawing board up against this newsprint here. So you'd really be putting it up against this base, and you'd be sitting on the long part when you're drawing a model. Again, another type of projector here. And the other thing that you need is a good oil-based canister where you can put all of your solvents in. And usually schools or your studio space you would pay for that to be picked up and to be removed, because as you know, you can never throw all paint down the sink or the toilet. And for the acrylics, you could have a disposable bucket like this. You could build one at home where it just kind of has a screen. And the most important thing is you have to take your brushes, and you would get just a regular container and try to first use a rag and take all of the paint off of the brush. Then you could swirl it in a little bit of water if it was acrylics. And when the water is very thin, there shouldn't be really that much water in that bucket, then you can pour it into the disposable bucket here, the large one, where it has a sifter, because it catches all of that acrylic settlement. But you should never throw acrylic paints down the sink, so I'm very strict about that. And you can see how clean the sink is. And the reason, because of the tubing, you have to make sure that if you end up throwing the acrylic paints down the sink, after a while, they will affect your tubes and you'll have to get them replaced. So you definitely don't want to do that. And with the oil paints, you can safely, you can even clean them with vegetable oil, where you just kind of have a rag and you have the vegetable oil, and you're moving the vegetable oil on the brush and taking out all of the color first, and then you can store that vegetable oil again in your little jar and just seal it up. Or if you have it at home, I did a whole nother video about how to dispose of oil paints safely if you don't have a studio space, or if you're not in a school, or if you're using oil paints at home. And the other thing, of course, we need towels and a garbage rack and an eye wash in case an accident happened. So these are things that I did a whole video again on the safeties of oil painting and acrylics, if you were using inks, different things that you would need to know if you were studying in a space at school, and or if you were doing it at home. So now I'm just live in the studio. This happens to be a school. I'm showing you what a school space would look like and have. But again, if you don't, watch my other videos where I show you how to build a proper studio space at home. And just remember, safety is important and is the key to making a great painting space. It's most important. And you have to be comfortable, you have to have well lighting, and you definitely have to have ventilation. So I'll see you soon. Ciao.